Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. Today we're going to have a look at Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. So this is great for a sort of two-chord strummer. Third chord with the exception to the solo, we'll cover that today. And then I'm going to intertwine some of the lead bits that Lindsey Buckingham does on the record and talk about improvising it as well. So stick around, you're in for a treat today. Now there's a full downloadable tab and chord sheet for this that you can get from the first link in the description. It's completely for free, don't want anything from you. It takes you to our private Facebook group. If you join the group and head to the Files tab, every tab I've ever done here on the YouTube channel, you can get there absolutely for free. And there's a cool little community in there for those of you that are that way inclined. So, these are the chords that we're going to use today. Now this is predominantly F major 7 and G throughout, with the exception of one bar in this song that's got an A minor in it as well. We're just going to focus on the F major 7 and the G to start with. So the way I'm going to tackle this video is we're going to learn the main chord part, which is literally 4 bars long and 2 chords. We'll then look at the intro, we'll then look at the chords for the solo, and then we'll look at the solo and how to improvise off the back of it. I'm using a loop pedal today to get that in the background for us. So we're going to start with an F major chord with this strumming pattern, which is down, down, up, up, down. Sounds like this. Down, down, up, up, down. Pause the video and get that under your fingers for me. It sounds like this with an F. Have a go at that for me. Down, down, up, down. Once you've got that under your fingers, we've then got a G chord that follows it, and you literally ping pong for the main part of the song, which is the verse and the choruses. Anything that's basically not the guitar solo that's in the middle of it is F major 7 to G. Now, I'm doing F major 7 like this and G like this. Some could argue that occasionally Lindsey Buckingham takes that F major 7 shape and moves it up 2 frets. We're just going to stick with a regular G chord today because those of us that are learning here at the school, that G comes in far more. I want you to be practicing that G as much as you can because it feeds into other stuff. So this is what we're going for. So that's your rhythm part. I've now loaded this into the looper, and this is the solo part. The lead guitar part that goes over the top. So I've got a Boss RC1 looper with that F to G just going on a loop, and then I'm using a tube screamer for just a little bit of dirt. I'm also going to turn the reverb up a little bit, and I'm going to add a little bit of tube tremolo in that as well. We'll talk about tones at the back end of the video. So this is what the rhythm sounds like, and then I'm going to play this over the top. So we'll do a close-up. Now this piece, the lead guitar in this is quite swampy. I'm going to take the tremolo off just while I'm demonstrating this so it doesn't sound like we're in a fish tank. Now we're going to start with the 10th fret on the B string. And you see the little wobble over the top, that means we're going to apply some vibrato. And I'm pressing that down with the ring finger on fret 10 and then the middle finger just behind it. And we're going to hold that for so much so, we're going to sustain that for so much so it actually bleeds over into the next bar. This is called a tie. You're going to pick this 10th fret and you're going to hold onto it and then apply vibrato for such a long time that it actually bleeds over into the next bar. Then staying on the same string, we're going to pick the 3rd fret of the B string, slide up to the 5th fret and then slide back down to the 3rd fret. So you're getting 3 notes for one pick. I'm using the ring finger again to get that nice kind of legato. I shouldn't slide into that, that's a bad habit, it's not what they're doing on the record. and then I'm going to pick that first fret. Now sometimes I will slide into it, or do a quick pull off. Now the big arch over the top is just telling you to play it legato. You want to try and get this all as smooth as possible. So it sounds like this. And then that moves on. Second fret of the G string, which is an A note, with the middle finger, give it some vibrato. And then we're going to do a similar thing where we're going to pick that second fret, slide up to the fourth, and then back down to the second, all on the G string. Open string, and then you've got a 2 on the D. We'll tackle this in a second. Let's just get those other 2 bits. So you've got and then this end bit is like a bit of a country lick. I was going to try and play it with the record, with the recording, but I'd missed the boat. So you're going to pick the open D string and then hammer onto the second fret. That's with a downstroke with the plectrum. Then with an upstroke, I'm going to pick the open G. I'm then going to go to the A string. I'm going to play the second fret, and then open. Da 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 da. Let's hear all of that in situ. Bearing in mind, make sure you go get the free PDF for this, guys, so that you can follow along with me with the lesson. It is well worth your time, I promise you. Now, if you've done your job right there, Stevie should come in and start singing there, and then and all you're going to do is just keep hitting that that F to a G. Now, I could get super duper clinical and dissect every little thing Lindsey Buckingham's doing in that sort of call and response throughout those first couple of verses in the chorus, but I can guarantee he never played it the same way twice. It's very that intro and the solo is probably the 2 kind of main hooks for the song. Everything else is quite variable, and at the back end of this lesson we're going to talk about how to do that using the A minor pentatonic, which will fit over this. I think it's worth mentioning, although it's an F and a G chord, we are sort of technically in the key of C major or A minor. We're just not using a C chord, and A minor only comes for 1 bar in the song. So that tackles pretty much 80% of the song, and then you've got this solo bit. Now let's have a look at the chords, and this is where this A minor comes in. Now let's just have a quick look at those chords again for a second. So we've still got the F major 7 and the G, and then we've got the A minor. Now what happens here, where are we? So the solo is an 8-bar progression that doesn't repeat. It just does 8 bars, and then it goes back to bar of F, bar of G, bar of F, bar of G. We're going to keep the same strumming pattern. We're going to play F for a bar, G for 2 bars, F for a bar, A minor for a bar, G for 2 bars, and F for a bar. So I'm going to get rid of this loop for a second. There we go, that's gone. And while I'm playing this for you, I might as well be putting a loop down here. So if you haven't, if you're not sure how to use a looper pedal, check out my video on that. It's some of the guys in the Facebook group. It's really good for their practice. If you're learning to do lead guitar, you might as well learn to accompany yourself. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Was a little bit wonky because my volume control was down on my guitar, but we can make it work. So pause the video, get that under your fingers. It's literally just the same strumming pattern, but we've just got this cheeky little A minor chord on bar 9 to watch out for. When I play this in bands, I know there's an A minor in it, I just forget where it is. I should probably take this sheet that I've written down for it. So the solo is a combination of those 2 bits, which looks like this. So let me play it by itself for you, and then we'll break it down. So we've got... he's just decorating. He's just decorating what the chords are doing underneath, but it's kind of all up in the 5th position. Now there is a 2nd fret there on the 2nd fret of the G string. I know that note's already in the chord before everybody starts getting cross with me, but I just feel like I can put more vibrato there, and it just feels nicer to me sliding down the string and getting there. If you want to put the other one in, it's completely cool, no judgment whatsoever. So you've got am I a fret? Yeah, I'm a slide ahead. Well spotted. Right, so we're going to start. The first bar is 8, 5, 8 on the high E for the first 2 notes, and then the B string for the second, the last note of the bar. And I'm sort of thinking A minor here while I'm playing this. So you've got, I'm going to use my little finger, index, pinky. Now I'm purposely using my pinky because there's quite a bit of stretching going on, and you're trying to let the notes kind of bleed into each other a little bit. So you've got 8, 5, 8. Then in bar 2 you're going to reciprocate. See how like it's a little arpeggio? So I've got that 5th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret on the E, the B and the G. Alternate picking where possible, but sometimes it makes sense to do economy picking there. Bar 3, we're going back to the root on the 5th fret of the high E string, 8th fret of the B, 7th fret. So it's just the same as what you've played in bar 2, but we're going to tag a 5th fret, and then you're going to go down to the 2nd fret on the same string. Now that's another A. It's a root note. I like to hit that with some vibrato when I get there. Pause the video and get that under your fingers if you're okay. The second half. First 2 bars are exactly the same as the previous 2 bars. First 2 bars on that slide. Looking at bar 3, you're walking back down that scale. So but we're going to go root on the high E string, 5th fret. We're then going to go 8th fret on the B. Now rather than going to the 7, we're going to go to the 5th fret instead and then come back to the 7. Watch out for that 5. I miss that regular. And it just adds that next, that's that 3rd bar in its entirety. And then you walk back down the arpeggio for the 5th bar. Look, this could probably be done as like holding all the notes, but I like how it sounds when you play it like this. So he says. Now I can't stress to you enough, legato, 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 legato. Now on the record, I'm assuming he's well known for playing a Les Paul, a white Les Paul custom at that time. There's lots of studio kind of smoke and mirrors going on that recording. There's some like I don't know if it's like a certain filter, envelope filter, something like that. Phasers. There's various effects that are probably going through a rack. How do we get that at home? I've just plenty of reverb. I'm using a tube screamer more to thicken it up as opposed to like really heavy, to make it really heavy. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of tremolo. And I want you to have a fairly dark sound for this. Now I'm going to let's put the speed on like 3 and the intensity on 7 for the tremolo. I'm going to turn the intensity up a little bit actually. You want that kind of warbly kind of sound. It's not what he's doing on the record, but it's probably, you've probably all got, if you've got like Boss Katanas and stuff like that, you can probably get a tremolo on that, and it's quite easy to use. Now that's the whole thing. Let's try it with the looper. Second line. So that's like softly, softly catch a monkey. I'm really picking lightly. I know I could have got the Les Paul out for today, but I feel like I've done loads of videos on Gibsons recently, and the Strat was here, so I figured I'd use that. And you don't always need the exact tool for the job. Sometimes when you know how to use your stuff well enough, you can kind of make whatever fit. Now, last bit that I want to talk about today with this is using this as an improvising platform. So say you've got the chord progression down, you've been jamming with the bits on the lead guitar bits that I've given you, and you're like, right, okay, how can I do these like little fill-in bits that we're doing? So let me get rid of this loop. So let me put that, put the original chord progression down. 2, 3, 4. Right, okay. So I'm going to use the A minor pentatonic now. Now, we're trying to think a little bit more melodically this time as opposed to just... Because if you start playing all your blues licks like we've done in the February Improvising Challenge, it's not going to sound right. Too much. Use those notes as a springboard and try and think of melody as opposed to licks. You try to make it sound like a voice. I want you to just, like, actually the less notes you play, the better it's going to sound. And I want you to think conversationally. So Stevie Nicks would be, I forget what the lyric is, but it's something like You see how I'm leaving it loads of space? And what might be a cool exercise to do is actually put the record on, let us sing a bit, and you play something conversational back to her like you're having that conversation. Now, I don't know how much any of you know about Fleetwood Mac and the sort of history around rumours and that era of the band, but there's quite a lot of tension in the band for various reasons. And when I listen to the record, I almost feel like Lindsay's answering her, because that's the song's about him, isn't it? You know? And it's all conversational, that's the best way to think about it. So tones, I'm using the first position, which is these two pickups on the Stratocaster. I've got my Ibanez Tube Screamer on the floor with the tone on 10 o'clock, the overdrive on 12 o'clock, and the level on 12 o'clock. I've got the clean channel in the Princeton, my volume is 3, my treble is 6, my bass is 5, my reverb's on 3.5. And then when I'm using the tremolo, I have the speed on 3 and the intensity on 9. And that just gives you that's sort of me trying to get that faux kind of warbly. And when you're improvising over this, guys, less is more. Less is more. I can't emphasise that enough. And maybe stay away from bends and sort of double stops and, and flashy tricks. That might be a good way to look at it. So, don't forget to head to the first link in the description. You can download the tabs to this for free. Don't want anything from you. And I will see you next week for another electric guitar lesson. Thank you so much.